So amortization tables, if you ever get a loan or a mortgage, your bank will have an amortization table. And let's say my mortgage right now is over 25 years. So 25 years times 12, what is that? 300 payments, right? I'll make 300 payments before I'm done my mortgage. They actually have if you click on it, they have a whole breakdown over the 300 payments as to how much principal and interest you're going to pay every single time. They know exactly how much they're going to make. We're only going to do the first 3 months or so. Okay? So let's go dive in right to the example here. Please just follow along, and if you have a calculator, please do the same thing as we go along. Okay? So we have Jamal purchased a vehicle for $12,000. He had to borrow $10,000, right? So obviously he paid off $2,000 at 4.25% over 3 years. Complete the amortization table below. The first thing you need to do is to find the payments. The payments are going to be the same every month, but we need to figure that out. So we're going to go payment is equal to, in this case, they tell you it's 10,000. And we're going to go ahead and get our rate, 4.25% over 3 years. We're going to go get it. That's on page 18. So you can just wait for me. I'll just go and get it quickly. 4.25 over 3 years. That would be $29.69. So let's go back here. $29.69. Let's figure out what that is. That is actually just 296.90 per month. Okay? Stays the same. So we're going to place this in here. We're going to go to every single of these cells and introduce that to the table. And so we're going to do, for the first 3 months, we're going to calculate this and see how this goes. All right. The interest monthly, watch this, up at the top here, I want you to go lowercase I, and then you just go loan times interest rate divided by 12. And obviously the interest rate is a decimal. Okay, that's the same formula I already gave you before. So in the first, watch this, first month's interest, this is what we're doing here. So I'm going to go I is equal to, my loan in this case is $10,000. My interest rate is 4.25%, so I write it down as a decimal, divided by 12. Figure out what that is, and we'll get that in here. So 10,000 times 0.0425 divided by 12, 3542, right? Rounded. So write that down, 3542. I think if you just write down 3542 right now, it's kind of useless. Like, you're gonna have to put in how we got that, or else you will not know how we did that. Principal, so this is I and this is principal, right? Remember, these two always add up to your payment. So to get this, we just go 296.90 minus 3542. We take our payment, we subtract the lowercase I. So to get the principal, we take our payment minus lowercase I. So we're going to go, you guys are champs. You're sitting here and you're writing this down on a Friday morning. Look at you guys. So that's the principal portion. So the bank says, thank you very much, 3542. This is going to bring down the loan. So we go minus 261.48, right? And just do a line there. And we subtract that from 10,000, and this is what I get. Now I just owe, this is so important for you to understand, in my opinion, just to be a smart consumer, right? Knowing that the payment doesn't all go towards the unpaid balance, only the principal portion of that payment brings down my unpaid balance. Let's do one more line. We start month 2. Here, I got to recalculate the interest. It will not be the same anymore. So we started with 10 grand, right? Now we only owe this much. So we go 97.38, 52, but the rest stays the same. The interest rate is the same, and we divide it by 12 still. And now we're going to get a different amount. It will be slightly less than 35.42, not by much. 9738.52 times 0.0425 divided by 12. Watch this, 34.49. Just a little bit less, right? Just cents, right? But it is less. So here you go 296.90 minus 34.49. So we'll come down to the cents if you want to get full marks on this, right? Bless you. All right, 262.41. Yeah. And now, so the second month comes along and they say, hey, you owe less now. 34.49 is your interest, 262.41. And remember, these two always add up to your payment. So then we go minus 262.41. And I will just go ahead and figure this out. So now you owe 94.76.11. So let's say you get your birthday money, which is like 500 bucks. You wish, right? I wish. And you come in at the end of the second month and you go to your bank, it's like, boom, 500 bucks right here. They would actually drop this by 500 bucks, boom. So that next month you will owe even less, so you pay less interest, right? And you pay it off faster. So this is assuming you don't make any additional payments. This is just assuming you stick with your monthly payment and you don't make any changes, all right? One more line, because I'm looking at my time. We have 10 minutes. We can do this. I here, how much do you owe now? 94.76. So you copy that, right? Times 0.0425. That stays the same. Divided by 12. 94.76. One thing you know for sure is that it should be less than the previous line. So it's 33.56. I should make this cell a bit longer, right, next time. But it's 33.56. So I go take my payment and take away the interest portion to get me the principal portion. And so that's 263.34. This is a 3-year loan, folks. So 36 of these should be done technically. By the time you go closer to the end, your interest will be probably almost zero. Like your last payment or your second last payment, there'll be very little interest charged because you owe so little at the end, right? But what happens, what I want you to maybe make a note of is that the interest will slowly go down, and the principal, if you don't observe that, you're doing something wrong, right? The interest should slowly decrease. The principal should slowly increase. So 3 months went by. Now what can we say? How much interest did you pay over 3 months? The first 3 months, that is. We're going to add the 35.42, the 34.49, and the 33.56. We're going to add these three values together, and that is our total interest. I know you're going to go out of here and just talk to your friends about interest, right? Not. Okay, 103.47 total interest over 3 months. Does that make sense? You cannot just say, I see some students going 35.42 times 3. Not accurate, because this changes, right? How much went towards the principal? Like how much went towards the loan, right? That's what they're asking here. And so you add up the principals. That's 261.48, 262.41, and 263.34. Those 3 months, you add those up. And that is 787.23. Oops. 20. Can you do another thing? If you have a highlighter, I don't know, I like this on the background, knowing that if you add up these two, like these two add up will always give you the payment, right? So if you add up these two, you get the payment. If you add up these two cells, you get the payment. So you're basically breaking down the payment, right? You're breaking it down. So I want you to understand that, oh, we forgot one thing. This needs to be now subtracted one more time to know how much you owe at the end of the 3 months. Can you just write it down at least so you have it? So this is 9,212.77.